Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chill English Talks. I'm Edward, and today I'm here with Marie again.
Hey everyone! So happy to be back. And I have to be honest with you all. This topic today is one that I needed personally. Like, this episode is for me as much as it is for you.
Same, and I think that is why we wanted to do it, because sometimes you pick a topic not just because it's useful for listeners, but because you genuinely need to hear it yourself.
Exactly. And today's topic is big. It is one of those topics that sounds simple on the surface, but goes really deep when you sit with it.
We are talking about change, specifically why it is time to change your life, and more importantly, how to actually do it in a way that sticks.
Because most of us have tried to change before. We set a goal, we feel excited, we start strong, and then somewhere along the way, things fall apart, and we end up right back where we started.
Sound familiar?
Very familiar. And this episode is going to help you understand why that happens and what to do differently. We will give you real language, real ideas, and real tools you can use starting today.
And as always, this is a great episode for shadowing. So whenever one of us says something that hits you, pause, repeat it out loud, copy the rhythm. That is how your English and your mindset grow at the same time.
Two birds, one stone.
Two birds, one stone. Okay, small talk first, always.
Always. It's basically a law at this point.
Edward's Law of Podcasting. No serious content without small talk first. Marie, tell me honestly, is there one area of your life right now where you know you need to change, but you keep putting it off?
Oh, wow. Starting strong today. Okay. Yes, sleep. I know I need to sleep earlier. I know the research, I know the benefits, I know everything. And yet, there I am at midnight watching one more episode of something I've already seen before.
One more episode. The most dangerous 4 words in the English language.
Genuinely dangerous. What about you?
For me, it's exercise. I keep saying I'll start on Monday, and then Monday comes, and somehow it becomes next Monday. I've started on Monday about 40 times this year.
40 Mondays of fresh starts.
40 Mondays, 0 results. But that's actually the perfect introduction to today's topic, because that cycle, knowing you need to change, trying, failing, and going back to the same thing, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
And listeners, before we go further, we want to ask you something. Think about one area of your life right now where you feel stuck. It could be your English, your health, your relationships, your career, your habits. Just one area. Hold that in your mind as we talk today.
Because this episode is not abstract, it's personal. Let's make it personal for you.
All right, let's start at the beginning. Why is change so hard? Why do we resist it even when we know it's good for us?
And resist is a great word here. Resist means to fight against something, to push back, even when part of you wants to move forward.
Because that's exactly what happens, right? Part of you wants to change, but another part of you fights it. And that second part is surprisingly strong.
The reason is actually rooted in how our brains work. Our brains are designed to keep us safe, and to the brain, familiar equals safe, even if familiar is not good for you.
So your brain looks at your current routine, even if it's unhealthy or unhappy, and it says, I know this. This is familiar. This is safe. Let's stay here.
And when you try to change, your brain sends a signal that feels like discomfort, like resistance, like fear. It's saying, warning, this is unfamiliar territory. Be careful.
And most people feel that signal and stop. They interpret it as a sign that the change is wrong or too hard or not meant for them.
But here is the truth. That discomfort is not a warning sign that you are going the wrong way. It is actually a signal that you are growing.
Discomfort and growth feel very similar at the beginning. The difference is in how you interpret it.
That is such an important idea. Say it again, Marie.
Discomfort and growth feel very similar at the beginning. The difference is in how you interpret it.
If you tell yourself, this is hard, so I should stop, you stay the same. But if you tell yourself, this is hard because I am growing, you keep going.
And that small shift in interpretation can change everything. It's called a reframe. A reframe means looking at the same situation from a different angle and finding a new meaning in it.
Reframe, great word. We'll come back to that in the vocabulary section. Okay, let's talk about something that a lot of people have heard before, but maybe never fully understood: the comfort zone.
Everyone says get out of your comfort zone, but what does that actually mean in real life? So, your comfort zone is the space where everything feels familiar, safe, and easy. It's not necessarily a happy place, it's just a known place.
And that's the trap. People stay in their comfort zone not because they're happy there, but because it's familiar. They know what to expect. There are no surprises.
And surprises, even good ones, feel threatening to the brain. So the brain keeps pulling you back to what it knows.
I have a great way to think about this. Imagine your comfort zone as a small room. It's not a bad room. It has your favorite chair, your familiar things, your routine. But the door is always open.
And just outside the door, there's a whole world, new experiences, new skills, new versions of yourself. But to get there, you have to walk through that uncomfortable doorway.
And most people stand at the door. They look out, they think about it, they maybe take one step. But then the brain says, come back to the chair, and they sit back down.
The key is not to run through the door. The key is to make the doorway smaller. Make the first step so small that your brain doesn't even notice you're crossing it.
Small steps, not giant leaps. We'll talk about this more in a moment, but first I want to talk about something that I think is the real root of why people do not change.
What is that?
Fear. Not laziness, not lack of motivation, fear.
Say more.
When someone says they can't change, when they keep procrastinating, when they keep saying next Monday, most of the time it's not because they don't care, it's because they're afraid.
Afraid of what?
Afraid of failing, afraid of looking stupid, afraid of trying hard and still not being good enough, afraid of what other people will think.
And sometimes afraid of succeeding, because success also means change, and change means the unknown.
Exactly. So fear is underneath almost all of our resistance to change. And the first step is to name it. Say it out loud. I am afraid.
Because when you name the fear, it loses some of its power. It stops being this big, invisible wall and becomes something you can actually look at and deal with.
And listeners, think about your English right now. Is there a fear underneath your hesitation? Maybe fear of speaking and making mistakes? Maybe fear of not being understood? Maybe fear of sounding silly with your accent?
Those fears are real, and they're also very common. Every single person learning a language has felt them. You're not alone in that.
But those fears are also not facts. They're just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed.
Okay, this next part is my favorite part of the whole episode, and I think it's the most powerful idea we're going to share today.
Most people try to change their behavior. They focus on what they do. I want to exercise more. I want to study English more. I want to eat better.
And behavior change alone rarely works long-term, because if your actions don't match how you see yourself, there's always an internal conflict.
Internal conflict means a fight inside yourself. Part of you doing the new thing, part of you feeling like it doesn't belong to you.
For example, if you try to exercise, but deep down you believe, I'm just not an active person, every workout feels like you're pretending. It feels fake. It feels forced.
And eventually, the behavior stops, because behavior that doesn't match your identity always fades.
But if you change the identity first, the behavior follows naturally. Instead of saying, I want to exercise, you say, I'm someone who takes care of my body. Now, exercise is not a chore. It's just something you do because of who you are.
This is called an identity shift, and it's one of the most powerful tools for lasting change.
And listeners, think about your English again. What if instead of saying, I want to learn English, you started saying, I'm an English speaker. I'm someone who communicates in English.
Even if your English is not perfect yet, even if you still make mistakes, the identity comes first, the skill follows.
Because when you see yourself as an English speaker, you make different choices. You look for opportunities to speak. You don't avoid conversations. You practice because it feels like part of who you are.
The action flows from the identity, not the other way around.
And here's something practical. Start small with your identity shift. You don't have to say, I'm fluent in English on day one. You can start with, I'm someone who's building their English every day.
Or, I'm someone who doesn't give up on their goals. Or, I'm someone who chooses growth over comfort.
Even small identity statements like those start to change how you see yourself. And when you see yourself differently, you act differently. And when you act differently, your life changes.
Step by step, sentence by sentence. All right, let's talk about something that a lot of people get wrong when they try to change. And that's the difference between having a goal and having a system.
Most people focus entirely on the goal. I want to lose 10 kilos. I want to speak fluent English. I want to get a better job. The goal is clear.
But the goal alone doesn't create change, because a goal is just a destination. It doesn't tell you how to move, how often to move, or what to do when you feel like stopping.
A system is different. A system is the set of daily habits and actions that move you toward the goal consistently, whether you feel motivated or not.
And that word consistent is key. Consistent means doing something regularly over time, not perfectly, not dramatically, just regularly.
Think about it this way. Two people want to learn English. Person A says, my goal is to speak fluently in 6 months. Person B says, my system is to listen to one English podcast every morning and write 3 sentences in English every evening.
6 months later, who do you think has made more progress?
Person B, without question, because they weren't waiting for motivation. They had a system that kept them moving even on the days they didn't feel like it.
And the beautiful thing about systems is that they remove the need for willpower. You don't have to decide every day to study English. It's just part of your routine. It just happens.
And willpower, as we know, is like a battery. It runs out, but a good system keeps working even when your willpower battery is low.
So instead of asking yourself, what is my goal? Ask yourself, what is my system? What small action will I take every single day that moves me toward the life I want?
And start tiny, embarrassingly tiny. If you want to read more, start with 1 page a day. If you want to exercise, start with 5 minutes. If you want to practice English, start with one podcast episode on your morning commute.
Because 1 page a day is infinitely better than 0 pages. 5 minutes of movement is infinitely better than staying on the sofa. And tiny habits done consistently build into something enormous over time.
The goal is not the thing. The system is the thing. Okay, we want to close this conversation with something that I think is very important, and that is the idea of the one decision.
So, in life, there are small decisions and there are big decisions. Small decisions are things like what to eat for lunch or what to watch tonight. They matter, but they're relatively low stakes.
And then there are big decisions, decisions that change the trajectory of your life, the direction you are heading. These decisions do not come every day, but when they do, they matter enormously.
Trajectory is a great word. It means the path or direction something is moving in, like the trajectory of a ball when you throw it. Once it's in the air, the initial direction determines where it lands.
And your life has a trajectory. Right now, based on your habits, your choices, your beliefs, your life is heading somewhere. The question is it heading where you want to go?
And sometimes just one decision can change that trajectory completely. A decision to start, a decision to stop, a decision to try something you have been afraid of.
Like the decision to take your English seriously, not casually, not someday, but now, today.
That one decision, followed by a system of small daily habits, can completely change where your life is heading a year from now.
And it does not require perfect conditions. It does not require the right moment. It does not require you to have everything figured out. It just requires a decision. Right now, I am going to change. I am starting today.
And listeners, if you are here, if you listen to this whole episode, something in you is already ready. You are already thinking about change. You're already open to it.
That is not nothing. That is actually the beginning. So do not let this episode be just a nice thing you listened to once. Let it be the moment you decided.
All right, let's move into the vocabulary section. We used a lot of rich and useful words today, and we want to make sure they really land for you.
Let's go through them one by one, clearly, slowly, with examples.
First word, resist. To resist means to fight against something or push back against it, even when part of you wants to move forward.
For example, it is hard to resist checking your phone when you are bored, or many people resist change even when they know it would help them.
Repeat, resist.
Resist.
Slowly, resist. Next word, reframe.
To reframe means to look at the same situation from a different angle and find a new meaning in it. You are not changing the facts, you're changing how you interpret them.
For example, instead of saying, I failed, try to reframe it as, I learned what does not work. Or, she reframed her fear of public speaking as excitement and energy.
Repeat. Reframe.
Reframe.
Slowly. Reframe. Next word, procrastinate.
To procrastinate means to delay doing something you know you should do, usually by doing easier or less important things instead.
For example, I kept procrastinating on my English practice and suddenly a month had passed. Or stop procrastinating and just start. Even one sentence is progress.
Repeat. Procrastinate.
Procrastinate.
Slowly. Procrastinate. Next word. Consistent.
Consistent means doing something regularly over time without stopping. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just regularly.
For example, she wasn't the most talented student, but she was the most consistent. Or, consistent small efforts produce bigger results than occasional big ones.
Repeat. Consistent.
Consistent.
Slowly. Consistent. Next phrase. Comfort zone.
Your comfort zone is the space where everything feels familiar, safe, and easy. It's not necessarily a happy place, it's just a known place.
For example, speaking English in public is outside my comfort zone, but I'm practicing. Or real growth only happens when you step outside your comfort zone.
Repeat. Comfort zone.
Comfort zone.
Slowly. Comfort zone. Next word. Trajectory.
Trajectory means the path or direction that something or someone is moving in over time.
For example, one small daily habit can completely change the trajectory of your life. Or, if you keep making the same choices, your trajectory will not change.
Repeat. Trajectory.
Trajectory.
Slowly. Trajectory. Next phrase. Identity shift.
An identity shift means changing how you see yourself, not just what you do. It means moving from I want to do this to I am someone who does this.
For example, the most powerful change is not a behavior change, it is an identity shift. Or, when she made an identity shift and started calling herself a writer, she actually started writing every day.
Repeat. Identity shift.
Identity shift.
Slowly. Identity shift. Next phrase. Internal conflict.
Internal conflict means a fight or tension happening inside yourself, two parts of you wanting different things at the same time.
For example, he felt internal conflict between wanting to rest and knowing he should study. Or, internal conflict is often a sign that you are growing and changing.
Repeat. Internal conflict.
Internal conflict.
Slowly. Internal conflict. Next word. Consistently.
Wait, we already did consistent.
You are right. Let's do our last one. Hesitation.
Hesitation means a pause or delay before doing something, usually because of doubt or fear.
For example, she spoke with no hesitation. Her English was natural and confident. Or, his hesitation before answering told me he was not sure.
Repeat. Hesitation.
Hesitation.
Slowly. Hesitation. And one final phrase for today. Fall apart.
To fall apart means to stop working, to collapse, or to come to an end. It can be used for plans, relationships, routines, or objects.
For example, my healthy eating plan always falls apart after 2 weeks. Or, when the pressure got too high, the whole team started to fall apart.
Repeat. Fall apart.
Fall apart.
Slowly. Fall apart.
And that is our vocabulary breakdown for today. These are not just textbook words. These are words you can use to talk about your life, your goals, your fears, and your growth.
Try to use at least 2 of them this week, in a comment, in a journal, in a conversation. The more you use them, the more they become yours.
All right, let's close with something we really want you to take away from today, not just as an English lesson, as a life lesson.
Change is possible for everyone, at any age, at any level, at any starting point.
But it does not happen by waiting for the right moment. It does not happen by wanting it hard enough. It happens when you make a decision, build a system, and keep going even when it is uncomfortable.
And the same is true for your English. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be ready. You just need to start, and then keep going.
So, here's your challenge for this week. Write down one area of your life where you want to change. Then write one tiny daily action you can take, not a big dramatic goal, one small action every day.
And write it in English in the comments below. because that writing is also English practice, and we genuinely want to read what you write.
Because your goals matter, your growth matters, and your English matters.
If this episode helped you today, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with one person who also needs a little push to change.
And remember, the best time to change was yesterday. The second best time is right now.
This is Marie,
And this is Edward.
and you have been listening to Chill English Talks. We'll see you in the next one.